Yes, I am Anita Adams, and I am a digital nomad and life and leadership coach, a spiritual entrepreneur, and I guide people to connect with this part of themselves so they can create a life that they truly love and that is aligned with who they are.
Awesome. So then, when it comes to aging, what is it about, not aging about getting old, but aging about just growth? What does that, what's that mean for you?
Yeah, that's such a great question, because I think as we lean into who we really truly are, we are expanding ourselves. And that to me has happened as I've gotten older, that I have learned to love myself and step into the woman I want to be. And that is because I shouldn't say it's because I'm aging, but I am growing. And as we age, I believe if we have that open mind, we grow and our heart expands and we step into all sorts of new and beautiful possibilities for ourselves.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned aging older. Can't help but wonder, was there a dynamic shift at one point where it's like, okay, so that's how it used to be, and this is how I am now, and without this, that wouldn't have happened, type thing? Was there a turning point, or did it just kind of happen?
No, oh my gosh, my life is full of many, many turning points, and it's one of the ones I'm here to talk about tonight is letting go of the old identity that I clung onto with like ferocity, because I worked 20 years to build this identity that gave me so much validation and recognition. I liked the recognition. I liked being someone. I was someone, and that just made me feel really sparkly, you know? I wanted to be someone. And then suddenly I was losing this identity, and I really didn't want to let go. And when I did, some really beautiful opportunities, new opportunities came to me because I was willing to let go. So
if you can share, what was it that was the hardest part about letting go of your old identity? Like I know for me it was in a similar vein. I was known. I was somebody. Like here's the persona that when I walk into the room, doors open, things happen. You know, like all that happened, and I'm like, what happens if that's gone?
Yeah. Well, that's exactly it. That was for me too. I guess my Achilles heel for many, many years growing up was that I didn't believe I was smart enough. And then I started this business, and I had people wanting to work with me, people who, smart people. I was in the film industry, and I had the executives across the country were on my board, like some of the smartest, most powerful players in the industry, and that made me feel smart, that I could attract all these really smart people. And so it was letting go of that it was like, okay, well, now what? And am I going to be able to prove my smartness? And that's I feel like I'm past that mostly, and every once in a while it still creeps up. So
thanks for sharing that. And where you are now, what was more, looking back, what was scarier? Making the decision to let go of the persona, or taking that first step into a world that you had no idea what was going to happen next?
They were both scary. They were both equally scary. They were really, both of them were hard, and yet I knew that this was the right direction for me to go. The story I'm sharing tonight is about learning how to listen to your soul. And when you lean in and listen, really listen, it gives you confidence. And that's, I think, probably the biggest lesson I've been able to take away from that whole experience. And so I'm learning to trust that more and more and feel more confident with that. So when something big and scary presents itself, I'm able to step into it easier than before. But at the beginning of that journey, oh wow, you know, like it was like there were some really scary moments, and even right now, like I'm still, you know, I'm a digital nomad, and you know, I'm currently living off of my mother-in-law's pull-out couch, you know, as we sort out the next phase in our life, and it's a big question mark, you know. So, and it's exciting. It's exciting.
So I can't help but wonder when I hear you say that, is there an element of guilt, shame, judgment of where I was, where I'm going to be, where I am now, and just let things unfold from here? Like basically, you know, yeah, I'm going to trust that this is all going to unfold in my favor. Not to say I'm not going to do anything and be lazy about it, but I go with this. I let go of this, and this is where I want to go. And how it all looks right now doesn't mean it's permanent.
No, doesn't mean it's permanent. I firmly believe that we got to be in action towards something, towards a goal. Like you can't just sit back and wait for the universe to deliver. I really do not believe that that's possible. So I'm somebody that is always in action. And I also believe that the best is yet to come. So I don't feel shame for, I'm not sure if this is where you're going, but you know, living at my mother-in-law's home, maybe that might be shameful for some people, but I don't find shame in that. In fact, I think there's pride in that for me in a lot of ways, and I think that there's some beauty around that extended family model. Like I'm like, wow, this is really interesting how this is working and how we can be such a support to one another. And I think some other cultures, I know I'm totally taking a dive down another road, but I just find it really interesting, right? Because, and I'm not sure if that's where you were going with, you know, this feeling of guilt and shame, because I don't feel that way at all, but I think there's people that do feel like, oh, if I don't have that, you know, beautiful home and that, you know, the 3 cars in the driveway and this high-paying job, then I'm a failure. And I used to feel that way. And I don't feel that way anymore. That's part of the letting go. So I feel like I've come to this completely other side where I'm now living on a pull-out couch within my mother-in-law's place. And it's fabulous. It's, you know, it's fabulous. And I mean, it's not permanent. This is where we are right now. And we'll see what the universe provides as I push forward with building my new business. Wow.
Yeah, and so that is what I alluded to. It's like we have an idea of like who we are, what we are, what we present to the world. And I'm not gonna lie, I had issues saying, I don't have a house, I'm not married, I'm single, and all these things.
Yeah.
And then they go, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
I didn't say there was anything wrong with me. I'm just saying I don't have these things, and with the there's just some preconceived notions of what you're supposed to be like at a certain age. And now that I've looked at that, I personally go, you know what? Just because I'm a number doesn't mean I have to act the number. You know,
I really hope to break that, you know, and I know that obviously I'm not going to break that on my own, but I think, you know, the more we have these kind of conversations and break the stereotypes and break the, not the stereotypes, the societal expectations, and they're, you know, those are big, those are really big. So you know, congratulations to you for creating this platform and opportunity for people to have these kind of conversations, so we can break down those feelings and those myths, you know, because
myths,
they really are.
Sure.
They really are.
Well, thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thank you for having me here. It's awesome.